Okay. So this is the topic which we are going to cover today. However, before I start with this topic, there are a few questions which have been asked. So I would like to answer them first, and then we will proceed with this topic. So that's also another small topic which I can say I'll be covering right before we start with organization setup and user management. There is sales pipeline, which I will cover, followed by lead management, as we talked about lead management in the previous session on Friday. So followed by that, I'll be covering sales pipeline also today. So you'll have a clear picture of how opportunities works in Salesforce, what is the impact of flow state and all other fields in Salesforce. Okay. So this one question which Rajiv has raised this morning is related to, first of all, what is the difference between SaaS and on-premise solution? Okay. So let me give you a brief or a small definition of what exactly software as a service means. SaaS means software as a service, and on-premise solution. Yes. Anybody has any questions? Okay. So software as a service means it's a cloud, okay? And when we are saying that on-premise solution, that means you are integrating your Salesforce cloud with on-premise solution. That is the major difference. For example, software as a service means that you are able to store the data on the cloud. It is a software. However, if there is a on-premise solution like ERP, okay, they have their hardware solution also, and ERP has their on-premise solution also. If you are integrating your ERP on-premise solution with the Salesforce software as a service solution, that means there will be an integration between these two systems. So that's how business works, where, for example, they want to use ERP for quotations or opportunities, and they want to make use of Salesforce for all other functionalities, but they don't want to use Salesforce quotations and opportunities. So they will use this particular ERP on-premise solution, and they will integrate it with Salesforce. So there will be two platforms which we are integrating together, and that's how businesses are combining or integrating these two solutions. So is that clear, or any doubts anybody has, or Rajiv, if it's clear?
So the hardware would be different, and this Salesforce, whatever required for their organization, this application will be installed on their servers or whatever hardware, right?
Exactly, exactly. And they will
So
have
by
their
default,
own.
does Salesforce
Yes,
use any database? I mean, again, we anything should have some database,
yes,
right?
yes,
So that might be their own database, or how is it when we talk about database?
yes. So force.com is one of the platform which is Salesforce inbuilt platform as a service on-premise solution. It is also a software only, but this comes under platform as a service because you will be able to develop your own applications into that platform. And same with on-premise solution also, that the applications will be managed by the servers only. However, in the software as a service in the cloud, you will be able to, you will be able to manage your own applications by your own. So that is also one of the difference. Force.com is one of the platform inbuilt of Salesforce where developers can create and manage their own applications also. But in software as a service cloud, you will be able to only manage apps with the third party integration, but you won't be able to create the apps on your own. So we will be using third party integration. That is a part of your course also, that I'll be teaching you how you can integrate the third party apps within Salesforce, within software as a service. But if you talk about force.com, how you can create and manage your apps on your own, that will be covered in the development classes, because coding will be required in order to create an app from scratch.
Yeah, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Like when a little bit, like I started AWS, so there I read that like software as a service is like complete product that is run or managed by the service provider.
Correct.
Like on premises, um, in SaaS, the applications, data, runtime, or OS, server, storage, networking, everything is managed by the service provider.
Correct. Yes, that's correct. That's what I'm explaining. That is the major difference between software as a service and on-premise solutions.
Okay, and in PaaS or SaaS, there is a difference. Like they can manage only applications.
Correct.
Other than applications, they can manage everything in PaaS.
Right. But they will be able to create their own applications also in PaaS platform. Like in
Yeah,
force.com,
exactly. Yeah,
you can create your own applications
yeah.
also.
Okay.
So are we good with the difference between
Yeah,
SaaS, PaaS, and on-premise solutions and all? Okay,
yeah, good.
cool. So the next thing which Rajiv asked was related to the close date on opportunity and account example of B2B and B2C. Okay. So there are two types of flows, right? When we talk about that, Salesforce is used by businesses. So the example which I told you in the last session, that was a business to business. That means if I am working in, let's say, Wipro as a company, and I am selling my software to Symantec. So that means there is a business between two companies. So that is the case of business B2B. Now, if you want to talk about the example of B2C, then I can tell you the example of, let's say, customer care. Okay. In that case, what will happen is um, you are handling consulting services, right? And you are a consultant in the company where you will be handling the data of your customers. That means there will be different companies, like there will be TCS, there will be IBM, there will be Wipro, Symantec, Veritas. Lots of other customers will be there who will be there using their own CRM, who will be using their own Salesforce. They will just contact you. They will just hire you as a consultant to help them to make their Salesforce, customize their Salesforce, write some code for them. They'll give you some of the projects where you will be just working with them as a client. That's it. So that is one of the example of B2C, where you will have many customers who will be just uh, giving you the services, where you will be implementing the solutions for them. So in that case, you will be creating accounts, many accounts. Like you will have your Wipro as account, Symantec as account. There will be lots of customers which you will be having. So in my previous company, we used to handle B2C, which was a secure technologies, and we used to, I mean, the engineers in our company, they used to create software, inbuilt software, antiviruses, secure it. If you type it on Google, you will find it easily. That is the software which is used for data protection. Like if you install it in your systems, you will be able to protect your files while sending it to your customers. So we used to have lots of customers who used to purchase those type of data protection softwares with us. So we used to maintain all of our customers' data under account. So that is B2C example. In Symantec, which was prior than Secure Technologies where I was working, that was totally B2B, where we used to maintain the data of the accounts internally only, right? Whom we used to send the quotations, whom we used to sell our products, where we are selling our products only to the companies where they are keeping it, or they are, purchasing the products for their own employees. So that was the business between B2B. So that is the example which I can share. I hope this is clear. If any doubts, just please feel free to ask me.
Can you please repeat the B2C one? Sorry.
B2C one. Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if you have, okay, let me share one more example so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, for example, I am working in Accenture right now. I'll tell you the example of my current company only because that is also B2C where we are working on a project. Okay, so I'm working in Accenture right now. What we are doing is, we have taken the project that we will be implementing Salesforce quotation system or Conga system for all the countries one by one. So we are working with different customers. Okay, right now we are working with IBM, where we are working for Salesforce. We are implementing Salesforce solution as per their business. So that means IBM is my customer right now. Then the next, once I will enable the system for IBM, I will move on to the next customer. And maybe I'll work with TCS next time, where I will be implementing Salesforce solutions as per their business. So that means I will have customers where I will be implementing solutions to them. So that is B2C example, which I can give you.
Yeah. So this customer becomes the account, right?
Customer becomes the account, yes.
Yeah,
In
got
both
it.
the scenarios, it will be stored under accounts only. But there is a functionality in Salesforce which is known as record types, which we will talk about it in later. Through that, you can identify, if you want to, that which are your end customers, which are your partners, and all of that identification that you can manage. But it will be under account only.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the sales pipeline. As we are just talking about the concepts today, so I'll be clearing more of concepts. So let's talk about opportunity sales pipeline also now today. Okay, so let me open random opportunities for you. Now you know the process that when we create leads in systems, it will be the prospect who will be inquiring about your product. Those will be stored in the form of leads. After that lead is converted, you will be converting it into account, contacts, and opportunity. Now, once you convert the lead into account, contacts, and opportunity, lead will not exist in system because the lead will be converted into a different record. In the form of account, you will see the company name of that person will be stored under account. The contact details of that person will be stored under contact, and then there will be opportunity. Now, all the work will happen on opportunity level. Why we have a separate object in order to store opportunity is very important. There is a whole sales pipeline which is followed when there is an opportunity created for any particular scenario. So while you create opportunity, you see there are fields, right? There is an importance of each and every field here. Okay, for which account you are creating this opportunity, it matters. And an account can have multiple opportunities also. For example, this Reliance, right? If you are trying to sell your product to Reliance, then there may be scenarios that Reliance will be in different cities or different states or different countries also. Then you will be creating multiple opportunities under this one account, where sometimes you will sell different pricing in India, then you will have different pricing based on the country in outside India also. So that is why you have these opportunities in place where you can manage the pricing, first of all, based on the product on the account level. Then you have probability, amount, close date, expected revenue. All of these things which you see here plays a very important role, because just imagine that you have come up with the lead where your customer has shown or your prospect has shown some interest to buy some products from you, and you have now created the opportunity. What's next? The next you will be doing is that you will be selling the product. Now, which product, right? Your company will not be selling only one particular product. There will be multiple types of software which your company is preparing. There are other hardware products also. Lots of products will be there which your company will be managing. So they will be maintaining all that information based on the judgment as per their first meeting with the customer. They will set up some probability here, that what is the probability of this customer purchasing the product from us. Because initially, when you convert a lead into opportunity, the first stage is by default qualification. Then based on each stage, you have definition of each and every stage, and based on that, all the fields keeps on changing. Whatever stage you are in on the opportunity, you will keep on changing the relevant fields. Amount you have to store, like how many products they will be purchasing, you will just inquire about that. In the first meeting, you will have a judgment that if this is a big company, they have more than 1,000 employees, they will be interested to purchase. They will give you an idea in the first meeting that we are looking for antivirus software from your company for our 1,000 employees. So you will have some estimate here, and you will write some amount here that this is the target which we are expecting. Now, but we are not sure whatever amount we will quote to them for their 1,000 employees, will they be agreeing to that or not? In that case, we will have some expected revenue also here. For example, there are 1,000 employees and you have sent a quotation for 1 lakh rupees, right? So that will be stored under amount. But the expected revenue, you will have something in your mind that this is something which we are expecting, and we cannot give them less than 80,000 on this opportunity, even after discount, because you have to keep discounts also in considerations while you are creating an opportunity. So this expected revenue field will play an important role when you will mention something, what you're expecting, the least or the minimum amount that we can offer. Then based on a discussion, you will decide the probability here. If you think that the customer has shown least interest, and you know that they have mentioned clearly that I will be checking the product with other competitors also, and then I will come back to you. In that case, you will just keep the probability as 10%, and based on that, you will decide the close date also. Because with all the opportunities, you maintain these close dates so that you have to close that particular deal within that time frame. And why close date plays an important role is because it is used for forecasting also, right? When you are managing the reports in Salesforce and you're tracking the sales pipeline, how people are performing, what type of opportunities are closing this year, then this will be dependent on close date only. In all your reportings, if you pull up any report on opportunity, close date is the base that you track how many opportunities are getting closed this year, how much amount we are expecting to close, because opportunity is a very important object in Salesforce, on the basis of which you will be able to decide your whole business, how you are doing. So that's why just an estimate date first you will put here, and sales reps usually they keep on changing the date, because at their initial meeting they won't be able to finalize the close date, because there will be lots of discussions happening around these product purchase. They will be quoting some pricing in the first meeting. They will check the interest of their customers. Based on that, they will keep on changing the close date. After that, once they keep on changing each stage also, like let me give you a small definition of each stages also. First, the stage will be in qualification whenever you will create. That means new opportunity. Then you will change it to need analysis. That means if your customer has said that can we manage 1,000 products, 1,000 antivirus softwares with 50,000 rupees only INR, then you will put it in need analysis, that this particular opportunity needs some analysis, whether we will be able to give that particular discount or not. That's just one of the scenarios. There can be many scenarios where you can put your opportunity under need analysis. If they're asking some modifications in the software, that in the antivirus, can you also add this particular component? Then also this opportunity will fall under need analysis stage. So there can be many scenarios. Based on that, you will keep your opportunity into this stage. Then you have value proposition. That is also something which will vary based on your discussion with your customer. That if they have decided that with this quantity, I would like to go with this amount. And if you give me this particular product into this pricing, then I will be able to take more. Just like we shop at our level, sometimes when we go to showrooms, we purchase 10 outfits, 10 garments, and then we tell them if it's out of a budget, we tell them that please give me only 5 garments out of these if it's falling out of my budget. So that type of value proposition is also done under this stage. Then you have ID decision maker. That is something sometimes they give you that kind of requirement, then you need to involve some decision makers of your company. Maybe you need some approvals from your directors, or you need to have a discussion about their requirement with some senior people. Then you will be putting this opportunity into ID decision makers, so that once you have the decision from them, you will be able to move it forward. Then we have perception analysis. That means based on your perception, you will quote something and you will feel that the customer will agree to that particular pricing. So you will keep this opportunity into perception analysis. Then we have proposal price quote. That means if you have quoted something already and they have said that I will check and let you know. That's simple proposal price quote. You have quoted from your end and you are just waiting for their approval. Then the negotiation, if they have said that please give me some more discount, that means self-explanatory, that will fall under negotiation and review. And submit and closed, self-explanatory again. In closed also you have closed lost and closed won, right? Because if they tell you that yes, let's make it a good deal, or let's 100%, it's 100%. So then in that case, you will close this deal as closed won. But if they say at the end, after a lot of negotiation and everything that has happened, they say at the end, we are still falling out of the budget and we won't be able to proceed with that. So you will close this opportunity as closed lost. Then you have submit and approved also. This is something which I have added, so you can just ignore this part. But as the standard stages, we have till close lost only. Right, and then you have some more fields here like next step, closed reason also, which is custom, which I have created, so you can ignore this part. And you have currency also in opportunity. We will learn how to add these currencies on opportunity level and other record level today only. So these are some important fields. And then you see under related, you have all the related lists. These are known as related lists. You have product. This is the object where you will be adding your product, what type of product you are actually selling it to your customer. And once we learn the backend configuration of this product, you will be able to understand how to set up products and different pricing for each and every product. But that I will be taking later. Once we learn all basic technical things, then we will learn about how to set up products and all. Then you can attach some files if you want on the opportunity level. If you have sent something to your customer which you would like to attach it here, like the demo installation of your software or any such document, you can attach it here. The contact will show up here, whom you are interacting with for closing this particular deal. You will save the details here, and that will come automatically here once you convert the lead. This is all I will let you know later, because this is custom I've created. And quote is something through which you will be able to communicating all your pricings to the customer, because amount field on the opportunity is one fixed amount. But through this quotation, you will be able to add multiple products onto this quotation, and you will be able to send these particular quotations to your customer every time after each and every negotiation. You will send the quotations, and whatever the final quotation customer agrees, you will sync it with opportunity, and that will be the final quote. And that's how the product quotes and opportunities are managed in a sales pipeline. We'll of course talk about it in detail also, how to create quotations, how to send it to customers, what to do. That will be discussed in detail in later sessions. So any questions till now related to this sales pipeline which I explained? Are we clear
Yes,
with?
ma'am.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, can we call close date as a last date for the means for the company or the customer?
Yes,
Means means till that time they have to give the approval.
yes, correct. The close date will keep on changing, right? Today, if you speak to your customer, you will think that you will be able to close it in the next month. So you will change the
Yes.
close date to the next month. But if you think in the next month also the deal is not closing, the customer is still not giving you approval to the pricing which you have quoted, and they have said that please contact me after 2 months, then you will change the close date to after 2 months. So this will keep on changing. The
Yes.
final date will come after the quote is approved and you are closing the deal. Whenever you are closing the opportunity as closed one, you have to change the close date at final date. And also,
Uh,
yeah, as an admin, so whose responsibility is this to maintain the opportunities is the sales rep. We have different roles in Salesforce. Leads are managed by marketing users who works in marketing department, and opportunities and accounts are managed by sales department who works in sales. So they will be the front face for selling the products. They will be the front face for managing these opportunities and maintaining these opportunities. As an admin, or be it any other profile of Salesforce, it will be your job to maintain this particular page, that your sales reps are able to maintain the amount and they're not getting any error, or if they want to add any custom field here, that backend configurations you will be managing. So while working on Salesforce and while we are talking about all the concept, you should be clear about roles and responsibilities also, who is doing what in Salesforce. Otherwise, you will think that on real time basis, once you get a job, you will be maintaining opportunities and you will be selling opportunities and products. No, every job and roles has different responsibilities. So it will be the sales person who will be selling the products and maintaining the opportunities in Salesforce. Yes,
So
Sahil, you
every
had some questions.
opportunity
Yes,
is unique, right? So how do we identify that? I mean, do we have any opportunity ID or something like that?
yes.
Because an account has, let's say, different opportunities,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
we want to change all at once. This is, going to the opportunity individually and changing it, right? Let's say we
yes.
have more than 10 or numerous opportunities to be
Mm-hmm.
changed. How do we do it all at once?
Okay. So, okay, let me tell you that as well. There are two options in this case if you want to mass update the opportunities. The second option is through data management tools of Salesforce, where you can mass update any records, be it opportunities, accounts, leads, contacts, custom data, also anything you can mass update. That will be through third party this mass update tools, data management tools. We have data import wizard and data loader, through which we will learn in later sessions how we can mass update records. That's one thing. And the standard feature through which, if you want to update, mass update anything, you have these list views also here. Just a minute, do I have? Okay. Yeah, so let me show you on account level. Okay, just like you see these checkboxes on leads, you can add, select multiple leads here whichever you want to update, and you will be able to update it here. Like if you have selected these leads and you want to change the status, just click on change status, click on change owner. And if you want to update any field also, you can just double click on the field and you will be able to update it. Right now, why I'm not able to update it is because record type, and we have not covered the record type yet, so you will not be able to understand this. So that's why ignore that part. But this is how you will be able to update it. Once we cover record types, I will show you again, because this topic was not the initial topic, so that's why I cannot show you right now unless you understand record types. You will not be able to understand the impact. But as you asked me, this is how you mass update any records with Salesforce, not only opportunities, but anything you can update through the list views. Clear?
Yeah. Anything on the opportunity ID or something where they should be
Yes.
unique?
Every
ID.
record is unique in Salesforce. If you talk about opportunity, if I open Reliance here, you will see this ID. This is known as the Salesforce ID, which is unique for all the records. Okay. If you see Reliance, this is the ID. If I open any other opportunity, let's say if I'm opening this Maruti here, you will see different ID. This is the unique identifier for each and every record in Salesforce. There is also a custom field which you can create as opportunity ID. We'll learn that as well. You can have that also. Some companies uses that also. So if you see in any of the company you're working in future that they are using opportunity ID instead of this ID, that's also fine and common behavior. People can use that also an identifier. And you can create that on any record, not only on opportunity level. It's same for all the objects.
So that will be same as the one which is appearing in the URL, right? I mean,
No,
just
no,
create it
no.
and
No. That is something which you can create on your own, because that is custom. So if you want to give the opportunity ID as numbers only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you will have it
Yeah.
like this. That is something custom. You can define the pattern on your own. Like I can show you if I have created on some object.
So when we want to query out on something, so which ID should we be taking? Is it the one which we created, or is it the one which is being shown in the URL? So
No, it's
which
always,
makes
it's always a good practice and always recommended to use this ID. And while running queries and all, it's always recommended to use this ID only.
system defined
Yes,
defined. Yeah.
system defined ID. Yes. Even for mass updating any data through any data management tool, only these IDs are recommended to use, because there will be no mistakes if you use this ID. It's always a safe option to use this.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the ID which I was talking about. This is custom, which you can create, and there will be digits like this, which you can define on your own. Okay, can we move to the company setup now?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, you know that Salesforce is used to store accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads, and we are just managing all of that data in Salesforce. Okay. Now, before you start managing this data, it's important for you to set up the company information, or set up the organization, or make the organization ready for your users. That's the first thing which any company does after they purchase the Salesforce instance. So this is how the big picture looks like in Salesforce. That first of all, you have to set up the company settings, UI settings, calendar settings, chatter. This is something which is set up as an initial phase once the Salesforce is purchased. Then the user profile, who will be using Salesforce, we'll talk about that. And then the records. That means whatever we create. So we talked about records already, what are accounts, how to create them, just to make yourself comfortable with the UI. Now you guys will be able to pick up user profiles and company settings fast because you know how records works in Salesforce. So let's go to company settings and set up the basic organization setup for the users. In order to do that, I'll start from the beginning. This is the setup icon, and you have to click on this every time whenever you want to do anything from the backend. That's the first navigation which you will have to remember, and it will be repetitive. Whatever we are creating in Salesforce, it will be the same. So you have to go to setup every time whenever you want to create anything. Then you will just type in here whatever you want. If you want to create a user, you will just type in user here. If you want to go to company information, you will type in company here. This is again the navigation. Please pay attention. It's going to be the same for all the settings and configurations which we are going to learn throughout the session. Be it admin configurations, be it development, be it any cloud, it's always going to be the same. So do not forget this. If I say you have to click on setup, be quick to click on setup, and this thing you have to remember. So after you type in company information here, just click on this. So first you will mention the organization name who has purchased this Salesforce. Let's say we assume that I am working in Symantec, and for my company, they have purchased Salesforce. So I'll mention the organization name as Symantec. Then the primary contact can be the person who will be responsible for the renewal of Salesforce from their company. So we will mention the primary contact from Symantec. Then you have division, address, fiscal year, and all. We'll talk about it. Currency also we'll talk about it. Then you have these checkboxes which are optional if you want the newsletter to be sent to the system admins or not, if you want to hide the system maintenance notifications and all. So these are some checkboxes which is optional for you, whether you want to keep it checked or unchecked based on the requirement. Then on the right hand side, you see phone number of the company, the fax details, the default locale, language, and time zone. This is also you have to remember. And this is also one of the interview questions, as well as a question from certification, that where you can manage the default locale, time zone, and language. So your answer will be under company information. This is the basic language which everybody sees the same, because this is something which we are setting up on the organization level. For everyone, for all the users, it is going to be the same always. This default language also, right now, because you are seeing everything in English, it is driving from here because you have selected as English. If I change the default language of this org to Spanish or German or any other language, everything will appear in that particular language. And there are companies, like if somebody is working locally in Germany and they are more comfortable in German language as compared to English, so they would prefer to use their org in that language. So that's why Salesforce has given you the flexibility to use your own language. Then the default time zone. This time zone is applicable for tracking the creation of things. Like if you notice here, you will be able to track here when you created this Salesforce org. So this date is, and this time is dependent on this particular time which we select here. This will be applicable for everything which we create. If you go to any record, be it custom record, or if you go to any lead which you created on Friday, you will be able to see when it was created. So this date and time I will see based on this time which I have selected here. Okay. Now here is also a catch. Okay. This is selected as specific daylight time, but if you will notice, I am seeing it here as per IST. This is because what I have selected on my user level, that we will talk about it later. let me explain you the fields on company setup first. This is the corporate currency. This is dependent on multiple currency options. This is important when you are creating opportunities and selling products, right? Because this is the primary use of Salesforce. So in that case, you will be able to set up some currency here. If you think that your company is based only in India and you want to use all your products in INR only, then you will choose your corporate currency as INR and you will not use multiple currency options. But if you think that your company is based in multiple locations and they want to use their products in different currencies, then you will make use of this activate multiple currency option. And then the users will be able to select their own currency on their page and they will be able to create their products in that particular currency. Then you have some data space, file space, and all of these limits which you see here. This is based on the edition which you purchase, you get these limits. They have given some limits here based on the developer edition. And this Salesforce.com ID is also unique for all the orgs. It will not be the similar for all the instances. Then you have instance type here. For me, it is AP16, and for all of you, if you go and check your instance type, it will be similar. Those who have created their org on the same day, this same instance ID will be given to you. This instance ID belongs to the status of your org. If you want to see if there is some downtime, if there is some maintenance going on in your instance, in your org, then you can always check the status of your Salesforce org. Based on this, you will be able to check if your org is undergoing any maintenance, and that's why it's working slow and all. The website to check the status is trust.salesforce.com. This is how on this, just click on status here. So this is how you will be able to see what instances undergoing maintenance. If your customer has come up with the request that I'm not able to access my org today, or it's working slow, I'm having some performance issue, then you can always check their instance ID and check the status and let them know accordingly. Okay. If you want to change any of these, just click on edit here and you will be able to check the organization name, the primary contact, the phone number, fax, and whatever fields you want to edit here. Even the default locale, language, and time zone, you can edit it from here. And you just have to click on save. If you want to activate this multiple currency option, you all have to just check this box and click on save and activate this multiple currency. Once you activate this multiple currency checkbox, you will see currency setup here. After you click on currency setup, you will be able to add more currencies to your org. Then on opportunity level, lead level, on all the objects, the currency field will be visible. Right now, if you will go to your opportunity page, you will not see the opportunity currency field as I was able to see, because I have activated this multiple currency option and you guys have not done it. So this is how you add more currencies here, and based on that, you will be able to add the amount in that particular currency and sell your products in that currency.
So is this at the user level? I mean, the currencies can we activate it for all the users? I mean, can we do it at the system level so that it will be visible for everyone, every user?
Yes. So in this also, it also works like same time zone and locale. Users can set up their own currencies also on top of the currency which is set up on the org level.
Okay,
For
got it.
example, if I am working, I'm from India and I'm working in India, so I can set up my currency as INR, which will override this particular currency, which is selected as corporate currency for this org. If I don't choose any currency, then all my opportunities will be saved under USD. But if I choose the currency on my user page as INR, it will override this and I'll be able to update my opportunities into INR.
So talking about this default time zone, if it is something like daylight savings, like let's say now CST is a CDT, right?
Yep.
So should we come here and change it here, or how is it?
Yes, you have to come here and you have to change it here.
So this reflects
Yes.
on all opportunities, leads,
All
everything, right?
opportunities, all records, yeah.
Yeah.
Then down here, you will see user licenses. This is something which we talked about when we were learning the Salesforce edition, that were based on edition which the business chooses for their own company. They will have to pay $25 per user per month. These are those users which will reflect here. So with this developer edition, as this is a test environment, we get free licenses, which is 2. So you all have received the same licenses as 2 licenses. That means I will be able to create 2 users in this org and 2 users or 2 employees from my company. Let's assume if I'm working in Symantec, 2 employees will be able to use this Salesforce org. One I can use and I can give my colleague also the access to use Salesforce. So this is how it is defined. In your company, whenever you will work in future, if they are asking you, can you please create 2 users for the new hires, they have just joined the company, and please create users. So first thing which you have to do is you have to check if you have the licenses remaining or not. If you don't have licenses, then you won't be able to create new users for any of the colleagues. The other licenses which you see here, there are multiple licenses. These are all the integration with the third parties, like Salesforce platform license. If you give this license, that means users will be able to create the orgs or applications on the Salesforce platform. Then we have customer community login. Community is the portal, inbuilt portal of Salesforce. If you give them login to this particular community, then they will be able to log into community and manage the communities. So this is how these licenses work. But the primary license which you have to manage is always the Salesforce license, which you will have to use for creating any of the users in Salesforce. Then you have permission set licenses. That is nothing but the add-on permission which you will have to give to any of the Salesforce license. If you think that the person is a commerce business user who will be managing that part, then you can give them this particular license. Same way you have feature licenses. If somebody has joined as marketing user, then you will have to give them marketing user license. Then you have some user-based entitlements, nothing but the limits which you get based on the edition which you purchase. So if they're saying that I have reached this limit, I'm not able to write a flow or something like that, then you can just check the limit here, come to this page, and you will be able to track all the limits and allowances here. Any questions on this company information part before I move to user management?
What if we have add to multiple companies information? Can we do
Multiple
that?
company, no, you cannot.
Okay.
One company is authorized to have one Salesforce instance only at one time. If they want to purchase 2 Salesforce instance, then they will have to give some other name to. I mean, I have not seen Okay, yes, they do that. Actually, right now I'm working in Accenture, but we have one CRM of IBM also because we are handling for two customers at one time. So in that case, you will have to give different organization name.
So how we can do?
So in this Salesforce org, you will not be able to assign this particular instance to more than one company. There will be
Okay.
another Salesforce org. Like you have one, that is one
Mhm.
Salesforce org which you have created for your own, right? So you can
Right.
use it for another company, but you will not be able to use this for multiple companies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So now let's see how we can create or give these licenses to the users. So for that, you just have to go to user. Users are the one who will be creating leads, opportunities, accounts, who users will be marketing users will be sales users, the different jobs, roles, responsibilities people will have. Based on that, you will be creating users in Salesforce. First, whoever creates the Salesforce instance, they become the system admin of that org. So if you will go to your user setup, you will see that your name will appear here as a system administrator. This is the highest access because you will be able to manage the Salesforce as a system admin. So there is always one system admin created by default as soon as the Salesforce org is created. Then that particular admin will create more users for their company. So we will go to users, click on new user. Here in this user license, you will be able to choose Salesforce. Right now, I am not getting option to select Salesforce here because I have already utilized two licenses. Nothing is remaining for me. So that is why I am not getting a Salesforce option here to create a user. So the options which you see here, the same licenses which I showed you on company information page, Chatter external and Chatter free, we were not able to see because these are free licenses. For that Salesforce license, you will be paying something. But Chatter free and Chatter external means you are giving free access to anyone to access Salesforce, but they will be able to access only Chatter and nothing else. Chatter is nothing, but this is like a Facebook of Salesforce. This is a messenger kind of a thing, which is used to communicate with people. Okay. If you want to connect with someone who is using Salesforce and you want them to work on any opportunity, or if you want them to send some Excel file and update they won't be able to update opportunity. Chatter users will not have access to any of the object which you see here. However, if you mention anything here, they will be able to see. So how people are using Chatter is, like if I have some Chatter users, let me create one and then we will combine these two things. I'll create one Chatter free user for you. Also, while creating a user, one thing you have to make sure that username is always unique. If you have created one user already with this email, if you click on save, you will get this error as duplicate username. This is nothing but the login of that person. So it is always have to be unique, but it doesn't matter if it's a valid email or not. If I write anything here, let's say 1234 at test.com, it will accept that also. But email address can be same. So please do not get confused. I'll clear that again. You can have multiple email addresses on the user, same email address on the user, but not the username. This has to be only in the email format. Even if it is not a valid email address, doesn't matter. If I create this user, I will still be getting the verification link on my email address only. So while you're creating users, only thing which you have to keep in mind is username should be unique. That's it. The marketing user, offline user, the checkboxes which you see here are all logged because we are creating chatter-free user. And as I said, chatter-free user does not have access to anything related to marketing or offline or sales. They will only have access to chatter. So that's why these are locked. But these are the same licenses which I showed you on company information page, right? If you give them, check this box, one license will be utilized from that particular page. This active checkbox means the user is active in Salesforce. If they are asking you to delete a user, there is no such concept as deleting user in Salesforce. You can only deactivate them. And for removing any of the user in Salesforce, you just have to come to the user page, remove this checkbox, click on save, and then the user will not be able to log into Salesforce. So only this active checkbox plays an important role, which you have to keep in mind whenever you are creating a user. If you're not checking this box, then the user will not be able to log in. Now, if you scroll down onto this page, these are some same fields which you can fill or not, totally optional. The time zone, locale, and language which we just saw on the company information page, a user also have this flexibility to choose their own time zone, locale, and language. I mean, not the user, admins can set up for them because users will not have access to create users. Only admins can create users. So while creating a user page, you can have their own language if they are from some other country and they want to use Salesforce in different language or different time zone they follow. Just always make sure that you maintain it here, update it here, so that it will override what we have set up on the company information page. Same with currency. You will not get this currency option because you have not enabled multiple currency. I'm getting it because after you check the box, activate multiple currency on company information, then you have the flexibility to enable the currency also here. And whatever currency you add under currency setup, you will be able to see all those currencies here in the drop down. So whenever this person is creating anything in Salesforce, he will see it in that particular currency. This last checkbox, generate new password and notify user immediately, is for, if you remember, whenever you create your Salesforce account, you get a password setup email on your email, correct? Same way, this person will be getting an email to set up the password so that he can log in. So let's click on save and create this user. Okay, this is also duplicate. Now this is how I have created user. And in order to show you how a Salesforce user looks like, I'll show you the existing user which I have created. So this is how a normal Salesforce user will look like. You will select Salesforce from the license. And this is profile, which is nothing but the access based on what jobs and responsibilities what roles and responsibility that person will have while joining the company. Based on that, you will be giving them the profile. For example, if they are marketing user, then you will be giving them marketing user profile so that that person will automatically get access on leads because that will be his primary job. If a person is a, let's say, standard user or is a solution manager or engineer, then you will give them this profile so that they will get access to related or relevant objects automatically. This is also something which you can create also, custom profiles, which we will talk about tomorrow, how you can create it, how you can check what type of access each and every profile get. Okay. But as of now, if you're creating a user, you can give them any profile. This is fine right now. But after you learn about profile, you have to choose the right profile based on the requirement. This role also is optional, but this is also something which you will be asked to give. If you're creating a user profile, then you will be asked to give them some role. Role is nothing. Everybody has a role. Like you guys are the candidates, you have a candidate role. And I'm a trainer, so I have a trainer role. In a company, we'll have multiple roles like CEO, directors, managers, sales reps, marketing users is also one of the roles. So based on that, you will be giving them the role. Wow. And what is the importance of these roles? We'll talk about that in sharing model topic of Salesforce. So the similar pattern, how we create chatter-free user, we create normal Salesforce user also. Now this WebShala user which I have created, this person will also have access to everything which I see here. He will be able to see chatter, leads, accounts, opportunities, everything, whatever I'm creating and whatever I'm doing in Salesforce. Okay. Yeah, so this chatter thing, I will walk you through tomorrow. We are already over the time today. So I'll walk you through this chatter tomorrow, what exactly chatter is. Any questions on whatever we have talked about today?
No, Purva. I have some doubts in the last, like you have given assignment, no, to create the leads.
Okay, okay.
So I just took up the task in the what is the trial base?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, trial head. So there, I can't actually further proceed with that, as it's showing that, like, could I share after this call? Could I share this screen?
Okay, sure, sure. Anybody has any questions before we wrap up the session today? Then I'll just share.
I'm good.
Okay.
No, ma'am. No questions.
Okay, perfect. So I'll be giving the Trailhead learning link for user management, setup company profile, and also I'll be sharing the learning document for SaaS, PaaS, and on-premise solutions and all which we talked about, and the sales pipeline. Just go through it. And also for Trailhead guys, please, especially those who are freshers, practice the links, and you will gain more points. You don't have to spend some extra time on those activities. After the session only, you can complete those tasks and you will be gaining points, so that when we end the session, you will automatically have some super badges which you will be able to share on LinkedIn, also on you can add on in your resumes also. So that will be beneficial for you. So just follow the Trailhead link. I will be sending it daily after the topics. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, everyone. Everyone can drop off. Yes, Shreyas, you can share your screen.
Okay.
I'll just stop the recording.